Welcome, one and all, sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers, to another one of my special wizard tales.
Hercules. Once upon a time, in the heavenly land of the gods, lived a tranquil old god named Hercules. One day, he found his peace suddenly shattered by the screams of two young gods fighting over a golden staff.
"Cease!"
he demanded. But the two young gods ignored the powerful Hercules until he simply reached down and plucked both of them from the ground.
"I said cease! Hercules commands you!"
he insisted, and continued,
"What's your name?"
As Mars and Saturn introduced themselves, Hercules realized that he was in the presence of the future gods of war and nature. The young gods were thrilled at this news, as Hercules explained,
"Your nature is sweet, Saturn. You love to create beautiful things, while you, young Mars, want nothing more than to destroy them."
"Destroy! Destroy!"
shouted Mars fiercely, as lightning bolted from his fingertip to destroy a nearby shrub and boulder. Hercules was deeply concerned by such rash behavior and felt the need to tell Mars the story of his own life. He explained,
"I had to learn to control my wildness, just as you will have to control yours, my friend."
And with that, Hercules instructed Saturn to learn to use his power to restore the shrub and boulder, while he led Mars off to the sacred pool of the swirling mirrors of time, where they could see the past, the present, and the future.
You see, from the past we learn wisdom for the present and the future. All gods, Mars, must be wise. To be truly just, their heads must rule their hearts.
In a flash of light, an image of a young warrior appeared through the swirl of water. It was Hercules, young and mortal.
"But how could you become a god, great Hercules?"
queried a puzzled Mars. Hercules explained that his father was Zeus, the father of all gods, while his mother was Alcmene, the most beautiful mortal woman on earth. It was his choice to become a mortal man for only one reason, and that was the gift of human love. Not only would that decision bring great joy for Hercules, but he would suffer unbearably for it as well, as the swirling waters were about to reveal as they began to tell his story. One day, upon returning home after a hunt, Hercules was horrified to find his city in ruins and his wife and sons gone. The pain was too much for Hercules to bear, and in his rage he cursed the gods. Even cursed Zeus, his own father, and demanded to be made immortal so he would have the power to avenge his loss. The sky instantly blackened and then exploded with a powerful burst of lightning as the gods responded in outrage. As Hercules continued to curse the heavens, the angered gods met to determine his future and his punishment. Only Hera, queen of the heavens, remained calm and convinced the assembled gods to allow her to decide his fate. They did not know that she hated Hercules and only wanted to destroy him.
If Hercules wants to be a god like us, then he must prove he is worthy. We could set him many labors or a quest. Yes, a quest,
suggested Hera as her evil plans began to unfold. In a bolt of light, Zeus himself appeared to Hercules to bring him the news.
"The council of the gods has decided, Hercules, that to become a god, you must first prove that you are worthy. I command you to go to Eurystheus, where you will learn of a quest. Only if you succeed in this quest will you be permitted to become a god. Now go, do as I command,
ordered Zeus. Hercules knew that this would be the challenge of his life, for both his half-brother Eurystheus, king of Tiryns, and Queen Hera hated him. Meanwhile, the spiteful king and the evil Hera were plotting the most impossible of all quests for Hercules. It was decided by Hera that Hercules must slay the nine-headed Hydra.
It can't be killed, of course. Oh, isn't that divine? And just to make it even more impossible, make him bring back one of the Hydra's heads. Oh, yes. Can't cut them off.
She deliriously explained to Eurystheus and then continued under her breath.
Oh, Hera, no wonder you're queen of the heavens. Oh, and I'll throw a few more obstacles in his way as well. From above.
Hera certainly did not wait to act on her threat. The unsuspecting Hercules was sent his first obstacle even before learning his quest. As Hercules climbed the rocky hillsides on his way to Tiryns, he came across a young man, Ulysses, peacefully sitting on a rock in the distance. Suddenly, a massive lion appeared and attacked the young man. Hercules immediately hurled himself onto the lion, but when he tried to stab the lion with his mighty knife, the knife snapped off with a loud clang. The lion's skin was made of metal. Hercules thought quickly and snatched an olive tree out of the ground, roots and all, to use as a club. In one massive blow, the lion was knocked to the ground. Its skin provided an invaluable cloak for Hercules. Watching from above, Hera was not too thrilled with Hercules' victory.
You didn't do something to assist your mortal son, did you, Zeus?
Suggested Hera angrily. Ulysses was incredibly grateful to Hercules as he introduced himself and exclaimed,
"You saved my life, Hercules. How can I repay you?"
And when Hercules told him of his soon-to-be-set quest and its probable danger, Ulysses asked to accompany his new friend.
"It will only be half as dangerous if there are two of us to share it,"
assured Ulysses. Upon reaching Tiryns, Hercules and Ulysses headed straight for the palace. King Eurystheus faked delight to see his brother and proceeded to innocently reveal the quest, as if it were just a meaningless dream.
Slay the Hydra and bring one of its heads back to me for proof. It's all coming back to me now. Almost seems real.
Without delay, Hercules proceeded in pursuit of this impossible quest, knowing full well that this was indeed the evil workings of Queen Hera. Besides Ulysses, Hercules took 4 additional men from Tiryns on his quest. Together, they rowed down the river and then attempted to cross the great swamp in search of the mighty Hydra. They were just about to stop for a rest in this smelly, wicked wetland when they heard a thunderous stampede in the distance. One of the men recognized the approaching creatures and shouted,
Stymphalian birds, Hercules, guardians of the swamp. The legend says they can hear beyond the horizon. They must have heard our sounds.
Both Hercules and Ulysses drew their bows and loaded their arrows.
Aim for their hearts, Ulysses,
cried Hercules. But the birds were too quick for their arrows, and certainly too big and too strong to fight. Ulysses knew that there had to be a better way, and just then had a brilliant idea. He grabbed Hercules' cloak, stretched it between 2 trees, and began striking it with a club.
Noise, Hercules! The Stymphalian birds hate noise! They have the most sensitive hearing on Earth! Strike the cloak again!
Instructed Ulysses. The birds squelched in agony as they stumbled away through the mud. From above, Nemesis, the goddess of intervention, smiled cunningly as Queen Hera watched in utter disbelief as Hercules again outwitted his attackers.
Did someone do something to help him?
Hera protested. Finally, they arrived at the ice lake of Lerna, home of the nine-headed Hydra, where Hercules would now face his true destiny. Hercules challenged the monster as he screamed,
"Hydra, evil serpent of the ice lake, it is I, Hercules, come to slay you. Rise and meet me."
Suddenly, Hydra rocketed through the ice, roaring, hissing, and lashing out at Hercules. As quickly as Hercules could lob off one of its heads, it would sprout a new one. When the men moved forward to help, Ulysses restrained them, for he had another idea. He instructed Hercules to curse Hera. This so angered Hera that she responded with a bolt of lightning that sparked an intense fire at Hercules' side. Hercules continued the battle while the men quickly snuck behind Hydra and shuffled it into the flames before it ever realized what was happening. The men watched as the mighty Hydra ignited in a fearsome explosion. Hercules victoriously grabbed a head of Hydra for evidence, and they joyfully began their journey back to Tiryns. However, things were not so happy in the heavenly land of the gods. Hera was beside herself with anger upon learning that Nemesis had been intervening on Hercules' behalf. To settle the dispute, Zeus allowed Hera to set one more challenge for Hercules, and this time without any intervention. Upon arriving at Tiryns, they found the entire city in ruins. Not even the king was spared. They found a mark of death smeared on the back of his throne, which was similar to the one placed on Hercules' own door when his family was abducted. One of the men recognized this symbol as that of the murderous Elis army from the city of Alis.
We must go there at once!
Shouted Ulysses.
"And we will make them pay for the murder of so many,"
vowed Hercules. As they approached the city of Elis, they came upon a shepherd who gave them enough information to devise a plan. Hercules had now learned how to fight through the power of his mind, not just his physical strength. First, they freed hundreds of cattle to stampede through the city. Then Hercules proceeded in search of the missing women and children. Hercules came upon an iron gate, which he forced open with every ounce of his brute strength and muscle. As he attempted to step through the bars, he came across Cerberus, the wicked three-headed hound.
"Don't look so afraid, Hercules. You're only going to die,"
growled the middle head.
"Do you really think Queen Hera would just let you go?"
he continued. Hercules restrained his anger and thought quickly. Cleverly, he accused the talking head of being smarter than the other two.
"Yes, I am the most intelligent of the three of us, by far,"
it agreed. Sheer chaos erupted as the heads began to fight amongst themselves over which was the most intelligent. Meanwhile, Hercules grabbed the tail and powerfully hurled Cerberus into the sky as he exclaimed,
"Time you went back to your mistress, Cerberus! Say hello to Hera, Queen of the Heavens!"
Just then, a beautiful, familiar voice sounded through the darkness. It was Deianira, the wife of Hercules, running toward him with their two young sons.
Hercules! Oh, Hercules! Oh, I thought I would never see you again.
She cried. Once again, Hercules had found the precious gift of human love. And although he had now earned the right to become a god, he chose to remain on earth as a mortal man for as long as his wife was alive. And after sharing his story with young Mars, Hercules stressed the lessons he had learned in his life. I had learned to think, not fight, create, not destroy. And I had learned that strength was nothing without knowledge. Just then, the voice of Saturn broke in excitedly as he exclaimed,
"Tree, become whole! Rock, become one! Yes! Yes, I've done it!"
The very old and very wise god had indeed enlightened the two young gods.
And thus another fine wizard tale concludes. Sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers, join me again soon for another classic tale. Won't you?